Hello, folks. It's great to see you. My name is Katri Ervamaa. I'm the director of the residential college. I've been a faculty member here for over 30 years. My area of study is natural sciences, and I teach classes in the first year seminar program and in the natural science program. I teach a first year seminar called Lessons from Deep Time, and I teach an upper level class called Alternative Futures in the Michigan Food System.
Hello, I'm Stephen Ward. I'm one of the associate directors of the RC. I teach African American history and urban studies in the social theory and practice program. And I'm also the faculty director of the Semester in Detroit program, which is a program based in the RC where students spend a semester living in the city of Detroit, taking classes there, based internships.
And hello, everyone. I'm Laura Thomas. I'm another associate director of the RC. I'm also the program head for the creative writing program. I teach fiction and creative nonfiction in the RC, and I've been teaching for over 20 years now. I'm also an alum of the RC. I majored in creative writing and also did an LS&A major in Russian language and literature. And so many of your students come to talk to me as both a faculty member and as an alum, navigating some of the things that they will navigate over the next 4 years. Welcome to our RC community and to our informational video. In this video, we're going to address some common questions that you might have about the RC and about what your incoming student can expect to enjoy in their time with us, especially in their first year upcoming. And we want to especially thank you for all the support and the love you've given your students to bring them to this point, to get them at U of M, being Wolverines, being RC students. I know that they are super excited to start in the fall. We're super excited to welcome them and to welcome you too to our RC family. As we talk, address some of your questions, we're doing this over Zoom in different locations, and some of us may have different internet speeds. So just bear with us for any glitches or little Zoom things that might happen that are unexpected as we talk about some of the concerns and questions you might have.
Let's start with housing. Parents, you may be wondering, when is move-in? Move-in for all U of M students living on campus for fall 2021 will take place August 25th through 29th. Students will be contacted in early August by U of M Housing to select the move-in time slot based on public health recommendations to reduce density during the move-in process. Incoming first-year RC students typically are able to move in 1 day early or on the first day of move-in. Please keep an eye out for more details over the summer. You can check the RC website, and please do, for updated information, which will be posted as soon as it is available from U of M Housing. Next, let's talk about roommates. All RCers room blind, which means they can't select their roommate. This helps students to foster a sense of community and to get to know fellow RCers from all over the US and the globe. Since updating our policy to rooming blind, we have seen significant decrease in roommate conflicts in first-year students. Parents are sometimes confused about roommates and think that because their student named their friend on their housing application, they will in fact be paired up. This isn't the case. If their preferred roommate is a fellow RCer, their child's friend will be in the same residential space and only a floor or two away.
You may be wondering what your student needs to do to prove that they have been vaccinated for COVID-19. As you may know, U of M Housing is requiring the COVID-19 vaccination for all students that reside in housing facilities this fall. And so that includes all RC first-year students. And students can report their vaccination record on the Maze and Blueprint website. And we will have that website listed on the RC website and the parent orientation page. And so you will find it there easily. Now, if you or your student has received a vaccine that's not approved for use in the United States, will you still be allowed to live on campus in the fall? The answer there is yes. You will still be able to live on campus if you have received a vaccine that is not authorized for use in the United States. You will not be considered fully vaccinated, so you will be expected to comply with the required weekly testing and mitigation procedures until you are fully vaccinated with an approved vaccine. More information will be shared during the summer on how to access a vaccine upon arrival. For students requiring an exemption from the COVID-19 vaccination requirement for medical or religious reasons, complete the vaccination exemption request form found in your Wolverine Access account.
So parents, you may be wondering, what is this RC thing? What has your student signed up for to experience over the next 4 years? Well, the RC is a 4-year living learning community within the Greater College of LS&A. And what that means is that your students will be fulfilling all of the LS&A requirements for graduation, including their what U of M calls distribution, but is also referred to as general education requirements, as well as fulfilling majors and minors in your students' area of interest. The RC has some special requirements within our community. I'll be talking a little bit later about the intensive language requirement, for example, and our director, Catherine Badgley, will talk to you a bit about the first-year seminar requirement. But it's important to know about the RC that we have many of the characteristics of a small, intimate college within the Greater College of LS&A. So for example, we have our own advising staff. So your student will be seeing someone like me, actually. I'm an academic advisor, and I see students on a regular basis to answer their academic questions, either about the creative writing major or about their general ed requirements for both the RC and the LS&A. This is a nice relationship for students because over in the LS&A, advisors often carry 40 or 50 students per advisor, whereas in our small community, our faculty advisors carry fewer students and have a lot of availability for talking to your students about anything that can come up. And we encourage your student to talk to us. Besides our own advising office, we also have our own majors and minors in the RC. RC students can fulfill one of our majors or minors, and many do, but RC students are not limited to those majors. I myself am a creative writing major, and I also majored in Russian language and literature through the Greater College of LS&A. So your student can take advantage of the over 70 majors that the LS&A offers and pair that with an RC major or minor. They can carry just an RC major and not do an LS&A major. Any combination is open to your student. And as a matter of fact, our majors and minors are even open to LS&A students. So the RC offers many special opportunities for your student, and students get to pick and choose which of those opportunities, majors, minors, the type of advising relationship they want to have according to their needs and their interests. We have another common question that comes up is, what kind of student is a great fit for the RC? Does my student have to be just super into languages and super into the arts? And what about the sciences? What about the social sciences? What about the humanities? And the answer is the RC is a great fit for just about any kind of academic pathway that your student wants to pursue. I have advised students on the pre-med track and on the science track and help them navigate how to fulfill RC requirements along with their pre-med or their science degree requirements. And many of our student grads are science and pre-med grads. We have a lot of folks wanting to do pre-law track or even the architecture, pre-architecture track. And we work with those students to make sure that they can fulfill all the requirements in a way that's comfortable and makes sense for their interests and their strengths. Of course, if your student is planning on the humanities and the social sciences as their major academic pathway, the RC is a great fit. We have majors in both of those disciplines, but we also have a fair number of students who major and pursue the social sciences and arts and humanities outside the RC as well. So really the RC, one of the things I love about the RC is that it's a home for everyone. It's a home base. It's a welcoming community. Your student can get involved in community engagement projects of all stripes, either through Semester in Detroit, through their second language. The opportunities are there for your student to take and to be a part of a very, very strong, supportive, intimate community, and also take advantages of all a great, huge university has to offer in any variety of disciplines.
You may be wondering if your student has very specific dietary needs, will they be able to eat in the East Quad? And can they receive appropriate variety of food? Well, the answer there, fortunately, is yes. The East Quad Dining Hall has won national awards for the quality of their food. They go out of their way to source a number of foods locally, and they have local produce and meat contracts, and they aim to provide students with a wide variety of options for preferences, whether they be dietary or cultural. And the Michigan dining facilities in the fall will be open and offering both in-person dining and carry-out options for those who are still wary of dining in. The capacity for in-person dining could still be restricted by public health guidelines. We'll be awaiting those guidelines as the summer proceeds. And if you wish, you can contact Michigan Dining directly to become connected to a registered dietitian who will meet with you and your student individually to discuss a food plan and how to avoid allergens. And in addition, you should know that RC students aren't restricted to East Quad dining and can explore other dining halls if they wish. Although I will say from my own experience that the East Quad Dining Hall produces some very impressive foods in terms of quality and variety.
So let's talk a little bit now about what kind of courses your student will be taking in the RC. A lot of parents wonder, and students too, where they can find the list of first-year seminars that your student will be signing up for the fall. The first-year seminar list will be shared in the pre-orientation materials that your student will receive via email closer to their orientation date. Students will round out that first semester with their intensive language in most cases. In some cases, your student will take their language starting in the winter, depending on where their placement test places them. And then we typically advise that your student will take one more course that first semester, in addition to their language in their first year seminar, that might fulfill some of the other requirements that both the RC and the Greater College of LS&A require all students, LS&A and RC students, to fulfill. Your student can take between 12 and 18 credits to be considered full-time. Usually during orientation, we recommend between 15 or 16 credits, although students might take more or fewer credits depending on the classes that they select and the credit load that each class carries between the 3 and the 4 credits that many U of M courses hold. And now we'll talk a little bit about that language requirement, which is one of the major requirements as an RC student. I myself navigated that requirement through the RC intensive Russian program back in the day. And yes, these are very credit intensive classes. My Russian class was 8 credits per semester. Many of our intensive languages do carry that 8 credit per semester load for the 2 semesters. Other languages carry a couple of more credits depending on their difficulty and how often they meet during the course of the week. These intensive classes are a great experience. I can tell you that the intensive language was what drew me to the RC. and made me fall in love with the RC right from the get-go. You work so closely with your instructor and with your cohort all those 2 semesters to prepare for the proficiency exam that every RC student must pass in order to pass that 2nd semester of their language and go on into the readings, where they will start to use the language by reading very difficult texts and writing in their target language. So our intensive languages are designed to fulfill these proficiency metrics so that your students will have a really good basic fluency going into their upper level classes through LS&A or into their study abroad programs, depending on their interests and where they go with the language from here. A lot of parents wonder, wow, 8 credits seems like a lot. When I was in school, maybe I had a 3 or 4 credit class. What's that going to be like for my student? And I can tell you, for me, it was fantastic to get that grounding in a language that I cared about, that I really wanted to master. And I often liken it to, college boot camp. It taught me to work hard. It taught me that there wasn't anything that I couldn't do once I succeeded in that language. And because I was going through it with my cohort, I made friends that lasted, frankly, for many, many years afterwards. I'm still in touch with a couple of people that I went through that intensive Russian program with way back in the 80s. It will be a fantastic introduction, not only to the RC, but to LS&A and U of M standards and expectations for academic performance. It will make your student brave, it will make your student fluent, and they will have a great time. So that is what I wanted to share about the languages. Your student and you should be very confident in the RC's language requirement, and that it will take your student where they want to go in the world and in the greater college community.
There are many places where your student can turn for such help or support. These include the RC academic advisors, the RCRAs, and all of their instructors, particularly first-year seminar instructors. They may also turn to their mentor if they are part of the MAP program. They may turn to other older students, to the RC staff, members of the RC staff. Also available is the university's Counseling and Psychological Services, known by its acronym CAPS, as well as the Wolverine Wellness Program, the Office for Services for Students with Disabilities, and other offices such as the Spectrum Center, the Office of Multi-Ethnic Student Affairs, and Central Student Government.
Another question you may have is how your student will find community within the residential college. Your student will have access to other RC community members in their hallways in East Quad. They will also have access to the help of an RCRA, who is also an RC student. There will be social offerings coordinated by these RAs, the Hall Council in East Quad. There are also RC forums. These are interest groups that any RC student can join. They are credit bearing, and they are great ways to get to know other RC students that have an interest in common. The first year seminar is also a wonderful place to get to know other RC students. And if your student is taking an RC intensive language, as Laura just explained, that will create bonds as well. Students will receive information on how to join the GroupMe groups for the RC class of 2025 and all the other RC groups as well. And incoming students can also participate in our Mentorship Among Peers program, which has the acronym MAP, M-A-P, which brings 1 to 2 incoming first-year students together with older students in pods to meet and get accustomed to the university.
I'll answer that question by just sharing. I'm often in touch with alum, both creative writing alum and RC alum who didn't major in creative writing. And so I'll just share a couple of stories of some grads who I was recently in touch with. One grad went on with her creative writing degree to then get some higher ed in urban planning. And she has had, for the last 10 years since graduating, a very fulfilling career designing sustainable transportation and land use projects, both in Michigan, and then she moved to Connecticut with her family, and has also been doing that kind of work for many years. So that's one example of what a RC grad has gone on to do. Another recent grad got in touch with me. She was a RC grad who did intensive Spanish, and she has ended up, again, over the last 7 years, being a therapist and specializing in second language therapy for students in the community. And she also recently published a book. She was also a creative writing major. And she published a book helping children cope with and understand the COVID crisis. So when the pandemic was first hitting, she was seeing a lot of anxiety from her patients who were kids. And so she designed and wrote this book and published it to help children navigate this new world that we found ourselves in. So our grads go on to do, RC grads go on to do is just as many different types of careers as you can imagine U of M grads do, and grads of the Greater College of LS&A. We have folks go on to be doctors and lawyers and journalists and work for nonprofits and work in the government. And I think every single faculty member, if you were to ask them, are you still in touch with your students and do you know what they went on to do with their education? All of us would have stories just like the ones I've shared with you today about what our students go out and do in the world. And in terms of networking, the RC does have an alumni mentorship program, and we match RC students with alum from all fields and all backgrounds. And that typically runs through the fall and winter semesters. Generally, we prioritize second year students and above. And I cannot tell you how useful that is for students who are still in college to connect with RC alum all over the world, to just talk to them about how they got the jobs that they have, how they navigated their careers. And it's especially useful for folks, connecting with folks who are in their early to mid 20s, so that they can talk to your student about what it's like just out of school when you may be contemplating grad school versus a career, and how folks made the choices they did to get them where they wanted to go.
For more information and for signing up for parent orientation drop-in sessions throughout the summer, please go to the RC website and see the information page under current students. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please do sign up for one of our orientation sessions for parents and families over the summer.